Some of the most legendary movies ever made have plot holes so massive, it'll make your head spin. These films are unforgettable, but today, we're calling out the moments that make zero sense. I'm Ariq of Awesome, let's get into it. And of course, we're gonna start with the Dark Knight trilogy. It is certainly the best of the Batman movies, with a hard carry by the second entry, The Dark Knight, with MVP, the late Heath Ledger. Christian Bale is the best Batman, don't at me, and these movies are just great. But all three have things that are just major plot holes or don't make any sense. Let's start with Batman Begins. In Batman Begins, Gotham is under attack from Ra's al Ghul and the League of Shadows. The plan is to hit the hard reset button on the world's greatest city. They plan on doing this by essentially dosing the entire city with, well, basically acid juice that will make you hallucinate and panic. This is derived from a special flower found in the Himalayas or something, I don't know. It looked cold and there was mountains. Here's the problem. They established that they are pouring the insanity juice derived from a flower in the mountains for months, a long time, and they poured all of it. They also established that the stolen microwave emitter is needed to set the juice off. Now, forgive me for my lack of scientific knowledge. It was my worst subject. However, it basically just makes steam and the insanity juice is in the air. But my question is, if they've been pouring it for months, is just all of Gotham just like, do they stink? Are they funky as hell? You take a hot shower and bam, insanity cloud. Boil some water for some Velveeta macaroni and cheese. You go insane. It doesn't make sense. It's just one big acid trip. Next up is The Dark Knight. One of the greatest movies probably ever. And as I mentioned before, Heath Ledger gives a stellar performance. And the best part of this, and frankly, all Batman movies as a whole, is that it's rooted in reality. No flying spaceships or superpowers, just a really smart evil dude who feels justified in his action. As great as this movie is, a lot of the Joker's plans, or lack thereof, are just silly and unrealistic and very coincidental. And this is most evident in the opening scene. The opening scene in The Dark Knight is amazing, and it's one of the greatest villain reveals ever. And of course, after robbing a mob bank and getting rid of all his henchmen, the Joker escapes in a bus that drives through the front of a bank and super murders somebody. He then gets in line with a fleet of school buses, but fucking how? Who timed this? How is this bus even running after driving very fast to a freaking bank wall? It's not vinyl siding, people, it's brick. Also, given the police are right there, I feel like the bus behind would call someone. You know, like, hey, we're going on a field trip to Taco Bell and there's a bus in front of us that is super dusty. I'm pretty sure it hasn't been with us the whole time, and I'm 99% sure it just drove out of a bank. Also, at some point, I would assume this bus would make a turn to go to the evil Joker hideout. Another red flag. Luckily, this movie is still awesome. And of course, The Dark Knight Rises. I'm gonna put on my Bane coat for this. It's a movie that I love, but has people split, and it's just full of nonsense. The Dark Knight Rises takes place nearly a decade after The Dark Knight, and it features a very, very poorly explained Bane, but he kicks Batman's ass. He puts him in some random prison and holds Gotham hostage with the threat of a bomb going off. This movie is very divisive, but again, I love this movie. Bane, for all his shortcomings and his character not quite being fleshed out, as a certified badass, but so many things just don't make sense in this movie. Forget suspending disbelief, this stuff is just stupid. Let's start with the prison. Who runs this prison? Are there any actual sentences, or can you in theory get out in the same day if you climb out? Are there prison guards? Why does a prison in India somewhere get the Gotham News Network? What's the service address to this prison? And who the hell is gonna install the cable there? How did they get out? Was Bane the cable guy? Like, does that call just go something like, hey, I'm trying to get Xfinity, I want to get cable and internet? Yeah, definitely. The service address is somewhere in India. There's a big hole in the ground. You'll hear dumb people just chanting random stuff, and you'll probably see some guy trying to escape and break his back. Just yell when you get down here. Batman gets his back broken and is fixed by getting punched by some guy who certainly doesn't have a medical license wherever this prison is. Also, this certainly would have killed him or definitely broke his back again. But most importantly, Bruce Wayne finally escapes the prison with days before the bomb goes off, and when he gets out, he's got no shoes. This prison, again, is in India somewhere. He's got no ID, no money because he's broke, because, you know, it's totally valid to lose all your money during a terrorist attack, and that would be super valid. It just makes no sense. Alfred isn't helping him. He has no resources. He just gets to Gotham because the script says he needs to. And of course, he saves the day, but not before setting up a Batman signal to light on fire, you know, to completely eliminate the element of surprise. Whew. And just for shits and giggles, after months of over 3,000 cops being underground with just enough food to keep them alive, the entire police department comes out cleanly shaven and not smelly and sad and malnourished. Also, why the hell did the mayor send all of those people down there for essentially like a couple of people? Next up is Toy Story. Now, Toy Story 1 is definitely the best of the Toy Story movies, and I remember it pretty fondly from my childhood. I mean, come on now. You got a friend in need. That sounded just like him, right? Now, Toy Story is the first entirely computer animated feature film, and in this movie, when people aren't around, the toys are alive and live their own lives. We got Bo Peep out there thirst trapping, Mr. Potato Head trying to find his way, trying to live his own life. A lot goes on when humans aren't around. Now, little kid Andy gets Space Cadet Extraordinaire Buzz Lightyear, voiced by Tim Allen, and Cowboy Woody, voiced by Tom Hanks, gets immediately jealous when Buzz is Andy's new favorite toy. The funny thing about this movie is everyone else except for Buzz Lightyear, they're definitely aware that they're toys. You got Mr. Potato Head again. Even Bo Peep's fine ass knows that she is just a toy. Buzz Lightyear refuses to accept this. So with that being said, why does Buzz freeze up like the rest of the toys when people come around if he really believes he's a space cadet or an astronaut? I mean, shouldn't he be out there like trying to save the planet or stuff no matter who's around? But just like the rest of the toys, he just freezes up like this, and he just waits for people to not be around, just like the rest of the toys, to resume living his life. It's really silly, but it's actually the entire movie, so in my mind, it's a major plot hole. Black Panther. Black Panther is an iconic movie that created a legit cultural phenomenon. People everywhere were like, Wakanda forever! For reason. And this movie made over $1.3 billion worldwide. In this movie, we follow T'Challa, played by the late Chadwick Boseman, who after the death of his father is about to be crowned the king of Wakanda. However, T'Challa finds that his position is now being challenged by the appearance of Killmonger, played by the terrible Michael B. Jordan. Now, Killmonger absolutely destroys T'Challa in tribal combat, throws him off a waterfall, and we think he's dead, and honestly, he should be, because they take the Black Panther juice from him, so he's just a normal guy that knows how to fight. But haha, he isn't. And then M'Baku, played by Winston Duke of the Jabari tribe, finds him in a coma and covers him in snow, which I guess it keeps him alive. But here's the problem, as stupid as all that sounds. When they harass Agent Ross, M'Baku establishes that the Jabari tribe are vegetarians.
I'm kidding, we have vegetarians.
And that a fisherman found T'Challa. They even show the sled thingy that he would be presumably bringing the fish back in. But what are vegetarians fishing for? Am I that dumb? Am I dumb? Now, you may say this is nitpicky, but it's important because if they were doing vegetarian things, there's no way they find T'Challa and he dies and bam, movie over. Killmonger rules forever and Angela Bassett's old ass has to become a new Black Panther. Alternate timeline stuff, people. Next up is Titanic, a movie that's so long it took 2 VHS tapes to watch it when it was released in 1998. This love story that didn't really happen but has real events happening around the love story stars Leonardo DiCaprio as a hobo who gets lucky in a game of cards and wins a ticket on the famed Titanic. On this ship, he meets Rose, played by Kate Winslet, the mega rich white girl who is engaged to also mega rich a-hole Haldane Hockley, played by Billy Zane. Rose hates her life and fiance and meets Jack, and she is immediately enthralled by the hobo life. She falls for hobo life so hard. He makes her feel alive, and they do the I'm the king of the world thing. They even do it in the back of an old car, and they will totally be together when the ship docks in New York forever. Unfortunately, the Titanic hits an iceberg and eventually sinks, and a lot of people super froze to death. Here is where we get to the ridiculousness. Now, I know you guys know where I'm going with this. Forget who murdered JFK. Let's get the science on this. Jack and Rose go down with the ship and find themselves in the frigid cold waters trying to survive. survive. They find a door or headboard, I'm not sure what it is, but it's floating in the water, and for reasons, after one attempt to get both of them on the door and avoid, hypothermia, they decide that only Rose can fit on the door, and I'm calling bullshit on this. They actually gave it a real try to, survive. They can both fit on the door. Anyways, Jack freezes to death or dies of hypothermia, I'm not sure, and Rose moves on, throws an expensive necklace in the ocean because why not? She's never gonna let go, people. Independence Day. In a movie that made Will Smith a megastar, we see the entire world under attack from aliens who can't be shot because of a protective shield that covers all of the ships. This movie is amazing. Remember when he had the cigar in his mouth? Now that's what I call a close encounter. It's amazing. I love Will Smith. Pre-slap Will Smith. Now, they can't figure out a way around their defenses, but genius Jeff Goldblum decides that yes, we can upload a virus to the motherships in space, which will then render the ships defenseless. And this actually works, and they destroy one giant ship, and the movie presents a happy ending. But there's one problem. Can we really upload a virus to an alien species? Like, their tech is clearly more advanced than ours. Like, what if they've got McAfee or Bitdefender? But that's beside the point. The problem is they don't actually find a way to stop the alien invasion. Yes, they did figure out a way to bring the shields down, but the ensuing battle, the human race they're actually getting destroyed. So to win the battle, they just have the drunk guy fly into a giant beam with his plane, and yeah, the movie just ends. But what is the plan for the rest of the world? Sacrifice someone every time? Provide the aliens shoot the big beam? What if they don't need it? What if they just beat the brakes off the rest of the world and they don't need a giant beam? Because I'm pretty sure the rest of the world has a smaller army than we do. What is Bill Pullman's plan in this damn movie? And lastly, the latest trilogy of Star Wars movies. The Rey Skywalker saga is extremely divisive, to say the least. I won't talk about it here, but you know why you don't like it. It's certainly better than the Anakin Skywalker trilogy, and honestly, Star Wars buffs just hate everything that isn't the original trilogy, and they judge these movies based on the previous, instead of just asking the question, was this a good movie by itself? But nonetheless, in my opinion, these movies are pretty good, even if they have things that make zero sense. All three movies follow Rey, who is just living a mundane life on Jakku. The Galactic Empire has fallen, but the First Empire, they're on the rise. And of course, they just do evil things. Rey meets Finn, who is a washed out stormtrooper who is freaked out after his first mission, and together they join the Resistance. Chewie and Han Solo return, and they are here to take it to Kylo Renn, who is like the new Darth Vader. In The Force Awakens, which is the first movie's climax, Finn, who is full on thirsty as hell for Rey at this point, confronts Kylo and says,
"That lightsaber, it belongs to me. Come get it."
Yeah, no, bro. Let me remind you, Finn was just a stormtrooper on his first mission like 72 hours ago, and Kylo did this earlier. Kylo would have absolutely ripped him apart in 0.3 seconds and forced through him to North Dakota in another galaxy far, far away. Fast forward 2 movies and we arrive at the rise of Skywalker. Finn is still thirsty. He's moved on from Rey kinda, now he's on Rose, and the Resistance is ready to take on the First Order, who of course are still blowing up planets. Rey has had encounters with Luke and is in full Jedi training and is the next chosen one. Kylo Renn is fully lost after murdering the hell out of his father Han Solo, and he's hot after Emperor Palpatine, who is Rey's granddaughter. Palpatine wants Rey to take his place and lead the Sith, but let's just hit the old pause button real quick. All right, little record scratch here. Rey is Emperor Palpatine's granddaughter, which means at some point that somebody had to have sex with this. Hell no. It's one of the most unbelievable things in the history of film, flat out. Also, riding horses in space on top of a ship? But what really kills me is this whole forced dyad thing. It's poorly explained, and honestly, it's just lazy writing. Throughout the trilogy, Rey and Kylo can talk to each other using the Force, and they are kinda in the same room talking, but can't see where each other are. They can even destroy items in the room, even though they aren't really there. They destroy Darth Vader's weird helmet. I'm sure it's explained somewhere, but I don't care. If it's in the comic books or something, or the novels, I don't care. But in the most important scene of the movie, Rey has rejected Palpatine. Kylo's in grave danger in a different part of the cave, and she force transfers a lightsaber to Kylo to kick ass and take names. But fucking how? I also feel like this could go so wrong, like she accidentally puts the lightsaber in his back. Again, I don't care about the lore behind this as a viewer. It just made no sense. And just for fun, guys, Kylo dies after using the Force life transfer thingy to save Rey's life, even though he's never used it, but whatever. He just kind of disappears. Like he literally evaporates. What the fuck? And one more, Palpatine and whatever these things are, they're just underground somewhere just waiting for Rey. What the fuck are they doing in the meantime? Are they playing chess? Are they doing taxes for the New Republic? It's gotta get boring, right? What are they doing this whole time?